10 seconds remaining.
Slog.
You may now select your heroes.
Thank you very much, GeForce. TNC versus LGD. Game 2. Looking at these drafts, we're getting a lot of fun. We've got Magnuses, we've got Enigmas. The finishes from both sides, though. The Kunkka, as expected by the panel, something that we've seen TNC be very confident with. Responded to, though, by this Slug. It could be a game we could get away with being quite slippery.
And getting a lot of stacks. Yeah. There's only limited disable. Sure, there's Black Hole, which is always going to be one that's very annoying because you can't get it off, obviously. But besides that, it's just really the Kunkka and the Grimstroke abilities. Grimstrokes are very telegraphed, so you can Dark Pact it off. You have to just watch out for the bug, of course, because you have to kill it off yourself. Dark Pact doesn't matter. But you attack very fast, so that'll be the case. And looks like they're going to actually smoke, try to get the reads on the lanes level 1 as Sebs are spammed.
They are spammed, and PSG.LGD ready to move.
And we are hoping, of course, Sheever. Of course, we're hoping for a game 3.
Let's see. Game 1 was obviously a great showing from TNC, but definitely not PSG.LGD at their best. They faltered. They could not make the draft operate after the second half. Continued of the game. This time round, we'll see if they're able to keep it closer to TNC, which is not going to be easy if TNC continue to play at this ever-increasing level that they've been reaching with their performance.
And it is cool to see also that it is Chalice on the mag, right? It's a bit of a difference. We don't see offlane mag by almost anyone except for Seb, right? I think he's probably the only one. I think maybe we've seen one or two maybe out of Pasha.
Yeah, back in the day, I feel.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, like recently. My control used to also play it a couple of times, but I mean, like recently.
No, it's not a common occurrence.
Yeah, not too many offlane Magnuses.
And that's, you know, we're always happy to see that, because that's going to mean more levels, more items, and more chances for the big RPs rather than just being that old Empower machine.
Absolutely.
And let's see, so mid lane, of course, Armel on that 5th pick, Kunkka. A hero that he is incredibly comfortable with. So many games on the Kunkka in Armel across the world as he's traveled and played the Dota 2. Let's see how he does against maybe Ember Spirit.
We will see indeed. It's a fun matchup. There's kill potential.
Did suffer, of course, in the lane in that first game, giving up first blood against maybe in a solo situation.
Yep.
This time around, a little less likely to happen. He's going to have that beef as the Kunkka. And that Tidebringer spam can sort of pressure maybe, keep maybe low on the HP as well.
LGD does not want to get behind it all on this side of this early learning phase because they're versus Enigma. That's kind of the rule of thumb. You're versus Enigma, you can't start giving up kills, you can't start making mistakes inside your laning phase because then the Enigma is just free farming during all that downtime. So we are going to see a lot of aggression coming out from LGD, I'd imagine, from in particular FY on that Tusk. He can definitely look to make aggressive moves on that mid lane with the Ember Spirit, who we should probably see maybe keeping that Kunkka relatively low, but we will see Armel always be bringing in tons of regen, Xing himself to base if he needs to. There's a lot of ways to play around.
Oh, for sure. He's going to almost certainly get those early stats as well, those braces online, so he's just this sort of 1K beefy boy in the middle that's very hard to sort of force out. The side lane, so looking at the situation, this is pretty much the matchups TNC wants, right? They're happy with this, getting Cuckoo solo against Chalice and having Gabby's Jug farm aggressively against the Slark.
Yep. does seem like that is the situations that they want. I don't think Chalice is too unhappy being versus this Omni Knight down bottom, though. This Magnus does just fine in that matchup. You have such high base damage advantage over the Omni. You keep bullying him, so TNC might have the lanes that they wanted, but I don't think PSG.LGD is very upset about this at all.
Okay.
They can even look to get these kills top immediately. They try to set this up onto AU.
And he does have to use the Ink well defensively, a little worried about getting jumped on even further. Will back away. Farm at the moment between the two carries, Arme. See, sitting on 7 for 3, Gabby 5 for 0. So still having the three of them here. They are able to secure that better time as expected. When you're against a team that is running the Enigma in the jungle, you are going to have the stronger lane somewhat. And at the moment, it is this top one, getting Arme that free farm.
Getting free farm, but there are a couple range creeps that have been denied. I see Tim's just denied another one out of that lane too. So he's getting good farm, but there is going to be that reduction that always does come out as well. Yeah,
that's specifically the slowdown in the levels. And obviously, the more time that he's going to be vulnerable without that level 6. As well, gets to the point where Tim's will therefore be able to move out the jungle and maybe look to put some pressure with the rest of his team on that top lane. Maybe try and force an early tower, or at least look to try and run down some of the supports.
Yeah. I love how much fun these teams are having with each other, though. Just like the chat wheels back and forth. As soon as one team uses one, they're like, oh, our chat wheel's back up. That's right. Got to use it back as well. Lots of fun. Lots of battling should be happening very soon up here. And they're going to look to go for this now immediately up top. They hit the level 2s. The Tusk is level 2. Venge as well. So the setups are there. They can definitely look for it, but they have to be a little careful. They can still die to the potential of the Jug and the Grimstroke, in particular the Vengeful Spirit. FY probably more than safe. He's holding on to the skill point, deciding if he needs the snowball to save somebody or if they can get the shards to make an aggressive play, or either one.
See middle lane. Armel versus maybe continue to be very close. 19 for 3 against the 17 for 1. Both mids getting the farm that they hope for, and the bottom lane farm remains to be very even.
Ooh. FY, we see him on the mini-map there. He's following AU. He has boots finished up too. He's just keeping tabs on this Grimstroke, just making sure that maybe knows if he's getting set up on, and maybe he is getting set up on. There are TPs to help.
They're going to turn their attention towards AU. AU has got the Ink Squirrel, but will be dodged straight away by the Snowball. Malefice is out onto FY, but there's the Sleight of Fist. Maybe he's going to be the one to clean up that first blood as he comes across and gains that gold bounty.
No funny business there by PSG.LGD, just bringing that extra hero immediately, just knowing that they want to get that return gold. They cannot give anything up in that early game, as we were talking about, because of that Enigma. And we're seeing it. Look at these last hits. Gabby only has 7. He's being slowed down incredibly hard. It's 4.5 minutes in.
He's not having a great time at all up there.
No, not at all. Ame, gonna put some harassment.
TNC, they've got to sort of hope that Tim's is going to be able to make the magic happen. You know, at the moment he's doing what Gabby can't. He's able to farm, but it is leaving this top lane at this weakness where Gabby's getting pressured.
Bounty runes. Looks like maybe he's actually making the move bottom to try to set that one up, and they might even be able to set up for Cuckoo.
He is low.
He's got the Heavenly Grace. Yeah, they're just gonna be dissuaded. But they got the runes, so it looks like a 3 for 1 for PSG.LGD, and they will fill up their bottles.
Now, how do they sort of get the Gabby back in? How do they find a farm? Is it best to keep the laning situation as is, or could you expect to see them want to swap Gabby maybe down towards the bottom where they may have a better chance of actually securing him that farm?
I actually thought they would do that right there. Yeah. I didn't think that he'd come back up here after all this, because now he's even in threat of like dying if he steps up too far. Sure, he has the spin always to protect himself, but you're gonna have to be using these defensively. This time, there's a snowball again to dodge it. So that's why always will be covered up those. But now the nuke.
They do get the slow. Gabby has to be careful to see if he wants to commit with the Blade Furies. It will leave him invulnerable. It's tempting, but he's holding back on it. Doesn't want to go in too deep, as knows that any time he does, and say he doesn't quite get the kill, there will be that turnaround between the 3 of them on LGD. Tim's at least remaining in the area, making sure that Gabby can have a grab at the creep wave.
Yeah, I guess that's the approach. Instead of moving him toward bottom where he'll suffer versus a Magnus, of course, in the 1v1, they're just going to bring a full tri-lane up here and just try to pressure the tower on that 5-minute mark. Eidolons split, so they will be able to deal a good amount of damage on that one there. And there's a rotation as well. Armel, he's 6. He's got a haste. He wants to make something happen up here.
He sees FY, does initially try and see if he can get maybe a bigger core behind him, but he'll now turn for the quick combo. Still up. Beefy on the Tusk, and not necessarily an easy kill. Starting to get out the Tidebringer hits.
He knows he has to bring him back there with the X, otherwise FY snowballs to the neutral camp there, so can't actually go for the boat play onto the Tusk. Giving some time now for maybe to push out that mid lane, but maybe actually looks like he wants to react. They're losing this tower very quickly.
It's a very important move, yeah, for TNC. To rectify the lane that the core was struggling to farm in, they're now on the verge of taking the tower. Snowball comes out to dodge the initial Blade Fury from Gabby and will actually roll away. So TNC not under the threat of being chased away. PSG.LGD will be able to secure the tower deny. It's a very early time though to lose that top tower. Tim's able to put the pressure on. LGD make the best out of the situation by making sure that the maximum amount of gold doesn't go over to TNC, but it's certainly still map control that TNC have gained.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
They gotta find a place for Gabby though.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. He's level 4, starting to hit a neutral camp.
Oh, the Blade Fury! It wasn't quite back up in time to dodge the magic missile. Now it's there. Should be enough to get him away with the shards. FY blocking him in. They still have to keep the distance away from the Inkswell stun. As X-Nova
He can't get in range.
why not the magic missile back in time. Gabby is able to escape.
But 18 last hits. He's down on the bottom there. Bottom 4 net worth as a jug. Usually one of those heroes that you want to start really well early because you're not really the strongest if you get behind. Your Omni Slash, everything is pretty weak there.
Gotta be careful moving around this mid lane as well. Armel. There's 4 heroes heading in towards this mid lane from PSG.LGD. They want to try and make a go onto the Kunkka. It's not easy. It's got the 2 braces, the boat ready to go.
DD on the Ember Spirit though. DD.
See how far Armel walks forward, FY.
Level 4 empowered as well.
Gonna lead in, Wave of Terror's out on our power him. He's got the boat coming out, so will have that damage resistance. Have they got enough to fight through it? RP committed as well by Chalice. Gets the 2 of them. Jump forward with the Remnants, but Armel, he's still alive. Walking it off. He's too tanky. Getting the boat off in time, allowing him to walk off. They will lose AU. FY still trying to chase. He's not on the mana front.
Incredibly low, and there's no shrine. Armel has to try to duke this one out. He can't be seen.
See if FY's going to be able to get, if he's able to throw one spell out, but he's gone the wrong way. Armel able to just walk straight in a line, and FY won't be able to catch him out. He gets away, TP back to base.
They only have the 2 points in the slide at the moment. They went for the max points into that Flame Guard onto maybe there, so he doesn't have that continuous spam there. He still gets them getting them a kill, but
he's actually going to move around down to the bottom lane. See if they can have a go onto Cuckoo. Cuckoo, also a pretty hard target to go for as the Omni Knight. They'll go for a bit of a poke, but indeed Cuckoo able to easily step back as the Omni. You see those high levels as well on both him and Armel, level 8. Elsewhere though, Gabby struggling. He's starting to find a little bit of space, but he needs a whole lot more.
He's so far behind Ame. Ame is going to be near double his net worth soon on this Slark. Not a place you want to be at all in a Juggernaut.
I know, Slark at the top, it is terrifying this game. We already talked about the strengths of this hero. When you look at it against TNC's draft, a lot of opportunities for Ame to just get in and out of the fights, and if even when he's not instantly taking people out because of the defensive measures that TNC have, he'll have a lot of chances to just rack up that essence shift.
Yeah, he's got really good targets to hit. The Omni and the Kunkka, 2 of the dream targets that you can go on as a Slark just to get those stacks built up. And he's going to have damage amplification. Kyle loves it, right? But if he does have it, he has both the Empower and he has the Venge. He's starting to farm up some stacks here on the Slark to boost that momentum to get that Echo Saber early so he can make those aggressive plays. That's going to tank him up too a lot. So there might be some decent amount of burst damage that comes out from TNC. If he's got all these stats on a Slark, could definitely prove to be quite an issue.
We saw that with the stats as well. You know, great appreciation for what X-Nova's been doing. He's stacking 5 camps already at the 10-minute mark. That makes all the difference for pushing Arme that little bit further ahead.
I mean, there's no reason not to do it. As heroes like Venge and stuff like that as support, you get so much gold back from just doing these stacks. When your carries go farm them, you're getting a lot out of it. And you're getting your levels when you're making moves elsewhere anyway.
And up top, they'll look to Gabby. He's got the Blade Fury, goes for the TP out. They've got the swap, ready to cancel it. As Gabby, the Blade Fury ends, and so does his life.
Can't get that one off when you're versus a Venge as well. Even a Magnus too in this game, and a Tusk. They've got so many different ways that they can actually stop that spin TP. Not level 6 yet on FY, but...
And it was those little things, you know, X-Nova being able to create those stacks and sort of hang around a little bit means that he has that 6 for that play. Makes all the difference and catches Gabby. It's 3-0, not a huge amount of kills, and farm still overall incredibly even between the two teams. The biggest problem at the moment for TNC is that Gabby needs to catch up.
Yeah.
Tim's obviously has the farm where Gabby doesn't. But how much can they do with this Enigma at this point in the game?
Yeah, all that downtime. Sure, they've got Enigma farming, but you're playing versus a Magnus. You know that there's a Magnus empowering not only one core in this game, it's two. He's doing it both on that Slark as well as that Ember Spirit, just keeping them boosted forward. Chalice bottom.
Easy combo here from Armel and into the Inkswell stun.
Very
It's
nice.
an easy catch. The Kunkka Grimstroke combo. You get that X mark, it's a lot of disable very early on in the game. Mid lane FY, Maleficus comes out from Tim's, Cuckoo TP's in as well, tries to chase him down, but FY, it's already far enough away. They can start to put a bit of pressure onto this mid tower. Fortification will be used, but TNC, it will be answered to by Maybe. Leads in with the Ember Spirit. X-Nova's here as well, has got swap available, but TNC's already out of there.
They're really prioritizing defending these tier 1s now. After they lost that top one so early on, they really don't want to lose control of these early tier 1s because they need to be able to farm their jungle. They have a Magnus, they have to be able to sit back and farm it up, so they have to protect these tier 1s as much as possible early on. And they're going to continue to just farm it up. Ame continue to push out bottom, full Echo Saber finished, and maybe just constantly running near Chalice to get empowered.
We've seen Armel being able to sort of move around, make moves on other heroes, but making a move onto the Slark is going to be something that he's not quite looked to do yet, and even when he does, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be more than enough chance for Ame to keep himself alive.
It is thankful that they do have that one lockdown that is, well, the two type of lockdowns on their team on TNC that works really well versus Slark, right? The X, can't get rid of that one, and the Black Hole. So if they are able to get those off, sure, they can maybe look to punish Ame, but there's always defensive capabilities. X-Nova, the swap.
The swap, yeah, these swaps, you can already feel it now. X-Nova's game has been incredible on a lot of these plays on the main stage here at LGD, and this one, it's his chance to shine. The saves will be there. The black hole stopping will be there. You can trust X-Nova to bring those plays out.
Yeah, and you can see how content at the moment PSG.LGD, I mean, it's 1-3 in this game. It's one of the lowest scoring games I think we've had at this tournament, but look how content they are with just sitting back. They're just stacking more and more camps, throwing out those empowers, getting that farm, but TNC are still doing a pretty good job of keeping that net worth, like you said, in their lead.
It's even.
Well, even, yeah. And Gabby's caught up pretty much. Almost a drum, phase drum finished up. Not too bad. Still not anywhere near the two main cores of PSG.LGD, but he's on his way.
Tim's has got the mech done, so if PSG.LGD are to look for fights.
Yeah, I'm wondering what
he's going to be able to turn up and turn things around, but I think, as you say, the biggest problem is for TNC is that PSG.LGD aren't necessarily going to be looking for those fights.
Yeah.
They're keeping it chill, hitting the neutrals.
I'm wondering what Cuckoo's going to buy as well. Because he's very farmed, 6,400 net worth, right? But I clicked on him before, and he's just got 2,700 gold. He's just banked up Arcane Boots, Solar Embracer. And you see, PSG.LGD, there's a line that they have not been crossing in the last few moments. That river. Right now, they're in the river, but they don't want to cross it. They just have to defend their jungle for the time being and farm. That's top, though.
For the RP, looking down Gabby. Gabby does have an Omni Slash. Will he be able to get it out in time? He does. In comes the save. Kuka with a heal, and with that Omni Slash, they'll pick up one kill. Chalice will be able to TP out. A very fortunate turnaround there for TNC. Gabby nearly dying. Able to get, I believe, the wand into the Omni Slash to keep himself alive. Able to fight back. And these little kills, they're going to help continue to climb him back into the game after a very rough laning stage. And all this space that's being made, Armel, 3,100 gold. That relic's coming in pretty soon for the Kunkka.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm wondering if Cuckoo's actually just going to buy a full Aghanims, right? He's versus the Magnus. It's a
really
great item this game. I'm wondering if it could be one of those possibilities, because then he doesn't have to stay near the fight to deal with that RP, or even to deal with like a lot of the slight spam. He can just use it, and he just buys actually a full Crimson Guard, as I'm saying it.
Okay.
That's also pretty good.
But that's where anytime you see someone sort of save that money, he's definitely considering all his options. And
yeah, I was very curious to see what it was going to be as.
in lane Armel, the drag back onto FY Gabby, surrounding the two of them. X-Nova will swap FY back out. Actually, that was X-Nova to walk off as well. So with that swap, everybody's kept safe on LGD. Soulbind will be thrown out onto Chalice, but nobody close by his side. Slight change combo from Maybe, catches out the two of them, but AU getting healed up by Cuckoo. GA's out as well. They're trying to turn towards Chalice. Blade Fury's out. Chalice being brought down low. Tiebreaker hit from Armel. They've claimed two. They're now looking towards Ame. Ame's had to pop the Shadow Dance and run. As TNC able to turn and fight there. Big turnaround potential, the use of the mech, the GA, they have this sustain. that makes it at this point of the game, very early on, 16 minutes in, very hard for PSG.LGD to sort of outlive them in the team fights.
And now there's a full Crimson Guard too for the Omni Knight, so that's probably the better choice here in this game than going for an Axe, because then you have to play around your ulti every time, right? Has a long cooldown still, so sure, Axe is great, but having to rely on it so long isn't really the greatest. Crimson, only 46 seconds, so he's going to be able to have that frequency, and yeah, we saw that turnaround. They are still very tanky on the side of TNC. PSG.LGD has to be careful how they make those aggressive plays.
Let's see. They're backing off, Armel. I'll say you to get self back to base, refuel, get back in. FY is on top of him. Huge burst with the sleight of fist. There you're trying to get away the Crimson Guard, keeping him safe. Mex popped as well. There's the swap at the combo. The X-Mark grab onto FY, but he gets the snowball dodge out. FY still alive for now. Now starts to walk away. The black hole on the back line, stopping them off, but X-Nova will cancel it. RP's out onto the two of them. Front challenge. They look towards Cuckoo. Cuckoo and Tim's falling low. Tim's is down, but they've already lost Arme. And now with the X-Mark drag back, Armel can try and find more. He's on top of Chalice. Chalice trying to run away. X-Nova with the magic missile. Holds back Armel. Can't quite finish off Chalice. He can try for the tiebreaker, but he's already dead. PSG.LGD will kill him off in time. Now maybe ready to chase for more. Cuckoo goes for the TP out. He will manage to get himself out to safety. The Omni Slash comes out from Gabby, but they group up. They surround him. Gabby's trying to run, but 4 hungry members of PSG.LGD looking for blood, and they'll surround Gabby, punch him up, FY, and they'll take him down as well. As they hold the fight on that top lane, TNC trying to force something. Arme does have to buy back for that, but that little lead that TNC just began to build up has now been lost.
Yeah, they're very tanky. They get their ultis out, but that buyback comes out, and they overextend just a little bit too much. Their ultis were expended. They'd use the RUM, they'd use the Enigma ult, they used pretty much everything to bring down these heroes and isolate Ame for them to bring him down once, but that second time, they did not have anything left available for themselves. And this Ember Spirit, sure, they got Ame, but maybe got, I don't even know how many sleight of fists off in the fight, maybe 12 plus sleight of fists, and now he's approaching a Desolator on top too.
Top, Armel. They're on top of them. Armor gets the boat out, but there's a magic missile. They have the control. Armor gets the stats. He gets the kill.
That's a big mistake there for TNC. They're losing Armel in that situation.
Out entirely on his own on that top lane. Nobody else around. So Arme and maybe continue to hold the top of that net worth. These two cores getting bigger and bigger. Arme has now got the 20% lifesteal talent, so can even more just rely on being able to stand and hit these beefy heroes, but staying alive and just getting to insane amounts of agi.
Yeah, and he's going for the safe play too. He's queued up the BKB. Just to not be able to deal with all that.
Just needs to stay alive. Just needs to be able to hit people.
Just needs to be able to hit people and just needs to not be able to get controlled and brought down by the X marks the spot into trapping him into some weird corner like he got stuck in the last situation.
Grief's done for Tims. Still that timing for Armel that got slowed down by the death. That radiance that they're waiting for. It's not quite there. Need it before they take for the next fight. The next fight may happen soon. Coming up to the 20-minute bounty runes.
PSG have the Blink Dagger on the Magnus, so they could be ready to fight this one, but they're all completely split up at the moment here, so it doesn't look like they actually want to take the fight. I guess just waiting. Ame's probably like, hey, I'm close to BKB. I just used my buyback. Let's wait for my BKB to come out, and then we can look for a fight. Even finding a DD now on the Slark, so DD, BKB coming out, this could be a timing here for PSG.LGD. However, TNC, they do have that Radiance about to come out also for Armel.
Yeah, just about this ancient camp away from it. He should have it. Looks like he will be able to find it before anything else kicks off, as PSG.LGD elsewhere at the moment. 3 of them down bottom, starting to put some pressure on towards the tier 2 tower. And there's the pickup. Certainly help make the difference, but once that BKB is done for Arme, and there it is, just as the Radiance is picked up. So Arme getting that BKB at the perfect time.
TNC's drawing the line, like they want to be able to pressure this top. They have not seen that this BKB is purchased though on the Slark. This could catch them off guard. PSG.LGD, they're probably suspecting something's going on here. They're hitting a tier 2 bottom with an Ember Spirit and there's no reaction just yet. They're starting to make moves. X-Nova preparing, TPing to that tier 3 so his teammates have quick TPs in the front.
So the last fight, in fact, the black hole is being straight up used. They've already got the disable on the backline straight away into the silence. They just find maybe. Tims, no hesitation. And that's a big catch, is now maybe forced to decide whether he wants to try and buy back if the rest of his team want to fight here. The tier 2 looks like they will just let it go. But Tim's just able to walk. He just black holes him.
No hesitation. I mean,
he just catches him.
Maybe TP's on the shrine, and they have a ward, and they're standing right in front of him.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, okay, there's no venge here. Well, he's hoping there's no venge. The worst situation there is if like a smoke. Healing, it makes you not have to worry about your positioning. It also pushes all your lanes out. Always able to protect your team versus that RP no matter where you are. As the farm will continue, 6 to 8. Still pretty quiet game on terms of those kills.
And a very close one as well.
Yeah. Lots of last hits though.
You know, and that's, it's impressive for TNC that it's close considering that they're against a team that has an empowered Slark and an empowered Ember. I mean, of course, an empowered Mag as well. Chalice being the core, he's picking up farm too. But they're still keeping the farm level.
Yeah, absolutely. Tims is definitely carrying the weight of, you know, the pressure that gets put on you as an Enigma. Where, all right, guys, we might have some trouble in the laning phase, but we've got this Enigma in the back lines. Tims is doing a great job of that.
And in sort of this slow-paced game, it is the dream for an Enigma. Most of the time, fights are happening. Black Hole's back online. He's got about 50 seconds for it now. We'll see if PSG.LGD want to try and fight around that timing in mind. They do smoke up, so they want to try and do something whilst that black hole's not there. They've been unable to really find that timing before now, but with the BKBs, they're good to go. They'll jump forward. Armel, he's got the X mark out, so we'll be able to drag himself back, but there's the potential dive from Maybe. He's going to jump straight in. He's looking to go deeper with the BKB. He's committing. The Remnant, he's on top of AU. They'll find one with the Soulbones out. Armel's still alive. He's trying to get the Tabri house. Finally, they'll finish him off. There'll be a buyback from AU. No buyback available from Armel. He is dead for 50. Cuckoo caught on the front lines. He's going to be turned towards BuyFY. They're trying to head in another change. Holds back both Gabby and AU. Will remove it with the Blade Fury. They'll now look to jump in. RP down onto the one of them and kills off AU. That's a dieback on the Grimstroke. PSG.LGD keeping the pressure up high. Jump in with the magic missile. FY goes in with a snowball onto Cuckoo, but Cuckoo, he's so tanky. They can't quite do anything about the Omni Knight. They'll head back, focus on the objective, get the tier 1 tower. Still have a bit of a tickle at the two of them, but it is hard to go for more with their PSG.LGD. I think they'll just accept what they got there, opening up that mid lane a bit more, getting that beginning of a lead in net worth, and being able to kill the Kunkka. Not an easy hero to take down. They do it this time, and as a bonus, taking AU out twice.
And the TNC might actually feel a little bit lucky they didn't have anybody else get caught inside that RP. It was very close to them potentially losing another hero. They only get AU caught in it, but this game is looking really hard for the Grimstroke. Look at the double BKBs, like Slark, Ember Spirit, they just go into the backlines. Yeah. How do you play your hero? You have to just hope for somebody to try to help you.
I mean, he's got to get some ghosts or glimmers or something to just sort of keep him away from them all.
Or Cuckoo just defending him somehow, right? Just the Omni Knight trying to protect that Grim, but definitely looking to be quite difficult as Slark will build up some stacks here.
Jumps out of the Shadow Blade. He's starting to build at the Agi. TNC could use to look this timing though. The Roche is up, RP was used, and indeed, they have Hole, they have GA.
Yeah, they definitely should look to try to take some advantage here. I believe Tim's is also really close to a Blink Dagger. It's one of those other big timies. They're looking like they actually want to just take the fight
This could catch PSG.LGD off guard. We'll see what sort of lead they can get. Chalice, he's been X-marked. Armel setting up the combo, but the Yules. He's just picked it up and he's able to keep himself out of the combo. Chalice outwitting TNC, and TNC won't quite find the grab. Immediate TP's up towards the top lane. They want to go for Arme. Arme's got a BKB and a Shadow Dancer available here, but he still gets caught up on the initial drag back. He's holding on, knows that he doesn't need the BKB, relying on just the Shadow Blade to get away. That's the best sort of situation for Arme here, is he's still got those both big cooldowns to use as he wishes, and he doesn't need to. He's able to just sneak away in the shadows. He's out of there and takes a few Eidolons to go. PSG.LGD keeping that lead. Arme's Slark looking as slippery as we expected. 2-1 and 5, that one death this game. And he's getting these levels very fast. Level 19 at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's just this double BKB timing. They got a good fight out of it. Now they've gotten a good amount of map control, set TNC back, and now is where that Empower, you're really starting to see the difference of it with that net worth increasing. A full Mjolnir now picked up for maybe.
Tim's has got that blink. We're seeing the importance of the black hole. It's allowed them to get these guaranteed kills on maybe.
Still such a hard
sort of
game.
pick-off situations, but yeah, every team fight, you know that X-Nova is going to be ready to put a stop to him. And obviously with just the Greaves into the naked blink, no sort of BKB, there's other things that the rest of the team can do as well.
Absolutely.
He's either got to find the full 5-man, or he's got to find opportunities to use it when PSG.LGD are split up across the map.
He'll have a little bit of easier times once there's a BKB on Armel in particular, because then Armel can act as that just like, hey, they're hitting me, they're hitting me, they're hitting me, and then they start to make a mistake, and then he can try to get the jump. Right now, it's still a bit scary because they don't have anyone to bait him forward to get that. They don't have anyone else who can start the fight, anyone else who can initiate, really.
Time for the smoke up from LGD. RP's available. They want to try and take a fight. They know that they're stronger at the moment.
Yep, getting these item timings, like we were mentioning, the Mjolnir on that Ember Spirit. They also have Blink on Tusk. They've gotten a couple big items here for their side here to protect their cores.
Trying to spot out action with the Wave of Terror, but TNC getting themselves right back. They'll look for the lead in with the X-Mark, but already maybe. He's just going straight towards the backlines, reveals himself, starts to poke in, jumps in looking for AU, and there you said it. The support is gone. Nothing AU can do to keep himself alive. BKB's been used by maybe. He's trying to chase for more. He's found Gabby in the trees. Gabby does have the healing ward out. Will now be cut down. There's the jump. Chalice, the blink, the RP, catches the two of them, but there's the counterplay. The torrent, the boat is out. Arme tries to commit Cuckoo, moving in with the GA. The Omni says, Tims, he's in! The Black Hole, but he gets cancelled immediately. The swap out. The Black Hole cancels there, but they've still lost FY on LGD. They'll go towards the tree line. X-Mark catches out X-Nova. They've found two. They're trying for Arme. Arme's committing. He's got a lot of essence shifts stacked up. Moving in with the Shadow Dance, looking for Cuckoo. Cuckoo's trying to hide. He's healing up. The Dart Pack damage isn't quite enough. He heals out. Cuckoo's able to get away from there. Now the X is onto Arme, but Chalice is still around. They'll get the drag on. Maybe's back in. Full health, full mana. Ready to keep the fight going. Big cooldowns have been used. They'll settle it for now. They'll back away.
Such crazy fights. Tim's almost had a beautiful opportunity there. As soon as the first swap came out, he may have actually been able to jump and get the black hole right away, because X-Nova was in a pretty dangerous position. But X-Nova, a quick force staff out, gets him into a spot to get that second swap. They're able to reset, and that's the beauty of LGD's lineup, is the reset factor. As soon as that hold is used, as soon as the Guardian Angel and the Rum is used, they back up, Slark heals up, Ember resets back to base, comes back, and that's where the fight becomes real hard for TNC. They have to be able to get these targets and bring them down in the instant go.
AU just has to keep right back.
So hard for him.
Otherwise, he's not going to get the chance to get a single spell out in these fights. They're eyeing up Gabby. And FY, he's got the lead in. Blade Fury's out, jumping for Tiz, Malefice, swap back onto Gabby, bringing him towards the rest of the team. But in fact, Gabby doing a lot with the Blade Fury on top of FY. FY's dead. They'll try and turn towards Arme, but Arme committing with a BKB, heading in, looking to try and get the healing ward with the micro. Gabby keeps the healing ward away, jumping from maybe on the back lines. He finds Tims, who can look to commit for more. The BKB, the Miona, he can just keep hitting away at them all. Cuckoo heals up Arme. Arme's allowed to back up with the chains. Magic Missile catches out the Omni Knight. They'll get a second LGD. The rest of TNC, they have to scatter. Escape this area. They will do so, the rest of them.
It's too hard for TNC to protect their backline. Their backline keeps getting pierced onto every single time, either by the Slark or by maybe in these situations, and he brings them down so quickly.
And these sort of kills and fights, the level's building up. He looked towards maybe. He's very close to having the Aghanim's gold. He's got good level 21.
Yeah.
That sort of terrifying point for the Ember Spirit. It's going to get there. It's going to get there pretty soon, and now they're going for Roche.
I mean, he's already been terrifying. He's 10-1-3. He's 13 of the 14 kills for his team. This man's going crazy this game.
30 seconds until Black Hole. We'll see if they're able to push PSG.LGD away from the pit long enough to buy time for that. They're trying to get in Chalice. He's going to go for the RP on Gabby. Just make sure that Arme can finish up Roche, get the Aegis, and now they're ready to fight. Arme moves in with the BKB. They found Tims. Tims, he's in trouble. He's caught on the front lines. He's gone. No Enigma for 50 seconds. Chalice does die on the side. There's Gabby. He's leading in. Still has the Omni Slash to play with. The Magic Missile down upon him. It's Searing Chains not going to connect here for the moment from maybe, but Gabby's still in. There's the controller from FY. Heads in with the snowball. He'll now commit with the Omni Slash. He's doing quite a bit of damage, but not enough to kill him, as now they can turn. Another stun from X-Nova. Blade Fury's back online. On the side, maybe splitting the rest of the team away from him, but still the GA comes out with the axe, keeping Gabby safe. Arme's popped the Shadow Dance, though. He's moving in, taking those essence shifts, getting that stats stolen up and build up on the Slark. He's ready to sneak in for more, maybe with the Shadow Blade. He's thinking about it, but he won't go for it. He'll leave them behind, but still another fight where PSG.LGD are coming out on top in terms of numbers.
Just look at that. You can just see the damage distribution. Just these two elusive cores on the side of PSG.LGD are just causing way too much trouble. Chalice does, like you said, he doesn't care if they're going to kill a target inside that RP. He's just making sure they can secure that Roche. Tims gets a bit out of position there on that left side. Gets quickly brought down.
Well, there's the big ones coming out. Axe for maybe. A Butterfly, I believe, done for Arme.
They're already getting in the back lines easily. Now it's going to be even easier for them to do so. And AU 1-7 on this Grimstroke, and it feels like it's just going to get harder and harder for him in this game.
Still, TNC. They have the two tier 2 towers in mid and top. Of course, tier 3 yet to be taken down on the bottom. Their base is still in good condition despite being 9k behind a PSG.LGD. It is going to be harder and harder for them to push up to the high ground. A fair bit of spam, good counter plays as well, with the potential threat of the Blink Black Hole. And obviously when it comes to the high ground push, AU more likely to be able to sit back in a position where he is actually able to throw out spells with them being unable to dive deep enough to get to him.
Maybe. Maybe has an Aghanim's, yeah, literal maybe.
He's in and out. He really is. I guess you're right. He does not care where he needs to jump to on the map with the speed that he can with the Ags. He goes wherever he wants.
Yeah. I mean, he can jump back. He can literally just jump in the backline and almost kill the... Grimstroke only has like 1200 HP at the moment, so like 1 or 2 hits, a sleight of fist, and then he just jumps out, and that's a dead Grimstroke.
Yeah, that's true. It's a rough life for AU.
Yep.
It's Arme.
Build up some stacks.
Found Gabby.
The preparation for the fight, right? Just a couple hits on the jug, you know, make him spin away. Keep this map control going. They're keeping TNC inside of their base as they just continue this farm.
And 2 minutes still to play with the Aegis on Arme.
Yeah. Full map control now for PSG.LGD. TNC in a lot of trouble this one.
And ever so strong performance from Maybe. Did have his struggles in game 1. After a hot start this time, he's kept it cool for the whole way through. Only tripped up that once by Tim's Black Hole around his shrine. Other than that, a flawless game on the Ember Spirit.
I'm sure that's a situation where it's like, X-Nova, you're so good at warding, how come I don't see my shrine this time? But no, it's the one time that he does get caught out, and he's having a pretty much flawless game on this Ember Spirit.
Smoked out of the base. They are smoking still into this minute and a half left on Arme's Aegis. So they may not catch anything at all, though, as PSG.LGD all around this area now will reveal themselves, the two of them. They'll know Arme and Chalice are hit. And they'll already start to back off. Gabby.
Trying to find farm wherever he can. Even if it's in a risky position, he has to try to be able to push out here to get something on the map. Because they're not really farming much of anything. It's just continuing to increase for LGD.
And Tims will be able to get a ward down, or he TP's back.
That's actually pretty nice. That one is going to be pretty hard to deward. There is a Slark on the team, though, always. So, you know, Ame, if he walks over there, he'll just be like, hey, wait a minute. But unlikely that the Slark will go back on that side of the map anytime soon.
Now looking for the fight here, LGD. They'll happily go for it, jump in. Onto AU once again, caught on the front. He has the Glimmer Cape behind him sometime. The Soul Bind's down onto the two of them, but the chains latches onto both. The Grease popped. Keeps them healed up. AU is dead for 45. Once again, a fight they'll have to take out the Grimstroke. And maybe just diving in. X-Mark will be there, but he has the BKB to rely on if he feels pressured, and he'll pop it maybe. Jump in. The commitment with the RP. He's caught out the jug, dragging him out as well. Gabby surrounded. The GA comes out. Healy was there as well as the save from Cuckoo. Gabby gets back up to the high ground. They'll keep him away, out of harm's way. That is the RP committed. And only the Grimstroke falls. But
also the GA is committed. The GA is super important in this game to protect anybody versus that Slark and that Ember Spirit. I think they're happy with that trading. That trade of going to get an RP trade for that. We look at Chalice. I believe Chalice pretty much has a refresher done if he chooses to buy it too.
He's going to be close
on the Magnus. And he gets that skewer range talent too. So we see him. He's able to bring people so far out of the base there if they do step up. And just continuing to grow that lead more and more. All the lanes pushing in. We see double Siege Wave, of course, pushing in now at that 35 minutes.
Let's see what they can do. There's Gabby, still feeling confident to farm out. at least knows when there's no RP, there's a little less worry of being grabbed out after the Blade Fury.
Maybe sets up a Remnant here, and he's picking up an Arcane Rune bottom. So Arcane Rune Ember Spirit coming up into this fight.
So what they can do to Arme, bringing him low, get forced back, and of course, no Aegis, so has to be a little careful. They'll now try and get in onto the back lines, another route onto the two of them with his chain spam from Maybe. Snowball is there as well from FY, dodging up the X-Mark combo. BKB's committed. They're straight in, jump forward from Arme. Oh, there's got Tibbs! He gets the black hole! It buys the time for the boat! Tibbs! Oh my god, Tibbs!
Oh my
god! I've never seen anything like I didn't. He gets it off! They come straight into it! The full tips are out for Tims!
Where'd they go? They died instantly. The boat, the combo.
Just holding it down, keeping it cool. Behind the tier 2, they dive, and it buys the time for the boat to come in. We gotta see this again. We gotta see this again and again.
Look at this positioning. X-Nova's not in position for it.
Look at this play. They're all committing. Tims is in.
He's trying.
So low, but the time that he buys with that black hole, it changes everything.
And they were all stacked up, so it looked like X-Nova. He may have tried to get it, but he's like, oh, I missed it.
Buyback. They did for 70 on Arme.
How long does he have? How much gold? 10 gold until he has buyback.
Hey, it's counting down. He'll have it soon.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does he want to use it right away? They might want to try to catch somebody. He's holding on to it still. Oh my
God. They're
god.
losing the racks. Tims. Cannot say his name enough. A game that really was slipping away for TNC. A game that it looked impossible to get off a game-changing black hole like that. And Tims goes ahead and does it. Changes the potential fate of this whole game, this whole series. As TNC, they're taking another. Arme,
he's still not buying back.
Refusing to buy back. He's lost 2 racks. There's no one to defend.
RP?
Got the RP. Chalice drags back the 2 of them. Gabby able to Blade Fury away, and Armel still very beefy. Maybe he's committing, at least trying it with the BKB. X-Nova will be able to swap Armel away. The GA comes out. AU does fall. Kuka goes for the TP attempt, but the INTERCEPTOR will cancel it. Maybe jumps in, focusing Armel. Armel, BKB tries for the CP, but there's the cancel. F5's in with the uppercut. Armel still almost certainly going to die, just going to try and get as much damage out as he can before he does, and they will finally get him. Arme continues to chase down Kuku. As Kuku bashed up, this is potential for a lot of stats to be built up by the slot. As Kuku is trapped with no escape, LGD, they will get another, but they lost the full set of racks. Myth, they lost the melee racks top as they make the executive decision to not buy back on the slug, but they take a lot of damage to the base because of that.
Yeah, they're probably still feeling like they can take these fights anyway, because that'll happen just because of a dream black hole scenario. They do have ways to cancel it still. They always will have that Venge double swap. Even if there's a Lincoln's finished up onto Tims, there will be ways to stop it, but it will give a little bit of a hesitation. And if those situations happen again, where everyone's just stacked up on top of each other, it is sometimes hard to just get the click off. Like just clicking on the Enigma in between all that massive everything. But now they will be able to set up for that Roche, and they didn't, like you said, didn't have to waste the buyback or didn't have to use the buyback on the Slark, and he's still very strong. They are still in a very, very good position here in LGD, even if they lost these Raxes. But TNC made an impossible slight comeback here for now.
They really have done. It's still, as you say, the lead, the holds there for PSG.LGD, but it's certainly got a lot more rockier for them, and that scary time, it's there again. I mean, as you said, we spent most again talking about how hard it is for Tims to get those black holes out, but now you've got to respect them. He has it available. He's shown us that it can be done in this game.
But we've also seen that they need that black hole. That is the scary thing too. And now look at PSG.LGD. They're going to have double RP. They have the refresher on top of the cooldown being ready, and they're looking to make something happen here. They've got a DD on their Ember Spirit, level 25. With a full Octarine, yeah, so very scary.
Those double RPs, you got to watch out. A lot of plays, a lot of ways to sort of bait out a GA, then coming again after it. GA still unavailable for now.
Just all eyes on Tims. X-Nova is so prepared. Level 18 now too, so he has the higher range swap.
As Tims, he's going to go in. He's going to lead it straight away with the black hole. He's controlling Arme up. Arme did them, killed off the Aegis. The turtle wasn't over. They found X-Nova as well. Chalice commits with the first RP. Arme's back with the second up, but Chalice stood up by the X-Swirl. Double kill for Tims, the man, the myth, the legend. And they're not done yet as they force PSG.LGD away from the base. They've got to get out of there. as the rest of them will run. But another play put to a stop by TNC's defense.
Xnova, it seems like he didn't know the Lincolns was there. He went for the first swap, and then he's like, oh god, Lincolns wasn't able to actually get that save there, and they get the beautiful follow-up silence and control onto Chalice. He's not actually able to get the refresher and second RP, and they saved their GA during all of that. They didn't actually have to pop it for Cuckoo. TNC making the impossible happen here.
They really are. In a game where it really did look very bleak for them, the sort of possible ways to play their ways out of this position that PSG.LGD had them cornered in, but they are doing it. Still a 7K lead for PSG.LGD, but they are really starting to hit this brick wall. Every push put to a stop by TNC. TNC taking map control, taking objectives, taking the shrines. Gabby getting that farm now. As each and every black hole has caused massive issues for PSG.LGD.
Oh man, so scary. These fights are just so crazy about who gets these initiations, and LGD, they're gonna have to find better ways to get information into those backlines. The team is just causing so many problems. They still have such strong team fight on PSG.LGD though. Any type of these situations, you have to watch where you're standing, because the team fights, as we see, can end in one abrupt moment. One combo from either side into a slide, into just, yeah.
FY, watching for the Ags here. He has that kick, way to sort of peel apart some of the feistier cores on the front lines, kick that jug away. If he's trying to lead in.
Kick the Enigma away even.
Yeah, indeed, if he sees Tim's coming, if he's able to get it off before the black hole cast is there. Could separate Tim's from the team, but Tim's refresher of course, the next item for him. 15 seconds and black hole's there once more.
Lots of ways for PSG.LGD to bring people outside of the base now too, right? They have the skewer, they have the swap, and now they also have a snow kick from the Tusk. So if they do see people standing out of position, they can like move their positioning pretty heavily. TNC positioning themselves here, smoked, waiting for some type of action to happen as they go for maybe that. Maybe if the Ember comes in with a Remnant, they might look to jump this. They wanted to, but they're a little bit hesitant here.
It's all about the jump from the smoke. Gabby leads in. Maybe he's going to head in. Down to spells the smoke. Gabby's known. They know where he's at. Chains will catch the two of them.
Chains on Tim's.
Has to back off. Grieves his pop. Maybe he's going to commit now with the BKB. Try and start the fight off, but it's going to wear out. It's not a long duration anymore. But now the BKB's gone. Arme will find the squishy. AU's gone out the back line of it all, but now the boat comes in. By AU. They've got Maybe. He's been outplayed. They go Tim's. Is in. The black hole again. Gets the two of them. Shuts them down. Now the RP comes out, but the GA's here. Ready to go for Cuckoo as they can fight up for TNC. PSG.LGD. They have to scatter, they have to run. Maybe committing with his buyback, has the DD rune, but FY left behind. Gabby on a killing spree, silent out on a Maybe, drag back the torrent combo, won't catch him. Another Remnant gets him back out of safety. He's still trying to poker them with this DD rune. Another sleight of fist and chains onto Armel, but they're without two heroes on LGD. Maybe having to commit a buyback as well, just to have the attempt at turning things around. But now the game is straight up even. There's no net worth advantage for PSG.LGD. A lineup with the Magnus, with the empowering, but it doesn't matter. TNC have closed the gap, and they just seem to have a much firmer hold on this game. You can see sort of the panic, the stress from the movements of PSG.LGD, but TNC, they're just delivering play after play. Tim's every black hole. At this point, we haven't seen a bad one.
No, we have not. We actually have not. And we also now see Armel picking up a Hex, and they're so quick on their follow-up, right? They get the black hole, instant Omni Slash, and they force LGD into a defensive perspective. And there's so many different ways that they can show. We were talking about how LGD, they want these fights to last long because they can build up all these stacks, but the fights are lasting incredibly long to the point where after they use their black hole, after they use all their sustain spells, after they use unbelievable hold here by TNC as they have now claimed an advantage in the game, and they've got themselves also perched in an aggressive position here too. Also, Tim's pretty much like you said, full refreshers. If he wants to pick up a refresher, he can actually go for that too.
It's getting that territory whether you worry about the buyback goal. We'll see.
Yeah.
What he faces. You know, if they do take a bad fight an army gets the Agi built up, they do have to be prepared to defend.
We're starting to see this GA be the big problem, though, for the side of PSG.LGD. They're trying to stick on targets after all these spells go off, because a lot of them are surviving after it, but they can't do any damage, so we see the nullifiers queued up. On both the Ember Spirit as well as the Slark, they need a way to get this GA off of target so they can focus fire anybody.
See if PSG.LGD want to come out of the base, so they're going to hold the high ground. He's gone in, refresher. There for Tims. He nearly has the ult naturally on cooldown. Gabby, he's in on the front there. Are going to have to use GA to keep Gabby safe, allowing him back off. X-Nova able to swap him back up to the high ground. Chains come out onto him. FY throws the shards out, looking to block him off, but Gabby still able to retreat. The boat's out, Tims. He's got the black hole. Now back on call, back and available, and as I say, did not, I believe, have to use the refresher, so there is the double black hole threat.
Yep. He went back to go pick it up, so they do have that threat there. He does not have buyback on the Enigma, though, so if he does get caught out somehow, he has to really watch his positioning, especially right now while the GA is on cooldown. It's 100 seconds where we could see LGD try to make a move here. Sure, they used one RP, but they have a second.
Yeah, Chalice is ready to go with that refresher, of course. BKB is trying to find next. Yeah, Tim's working with their refresher, as you say, lack of buyback. It's risky, but it really could be what breaks open this game for TNC to close it out. And if the black holes that he's been producing so far are anything to go by, you can absolutely understand why he goes full out on this purchase. He knows he can do it.
Oh yeah. 2 minutes, a long respawn here for Roshan. Teams camping the ruins here.
See the spawn army. They've got the Hex reveal. Jump in. The two-man pistol blade on his last combo. It's out.
Oh my god.
Gabby with the double kill. The soulbite again. Catches the two of them. Chalice is gone. FY as well. 4 dead. As TNC make a beautiful jump there from the high ground. The Hex, the soulbite, abyssal combo. It was all there. And PSG.LGD just get absolutely destroyed.
FY blinks in to try to help his buddy, right? But he blinks in, the soulbind attaches to him. So they both get abyssal. They can't do anything. They just get brought down because of it.
They've got to use these buybacks. The range racks is taken from the top lane. 3 buybacks having to come out from PSG.LGD to stop TNC from going for more in the base. Now a 7K lead for TNC.
They're so prepared for this game too. You see them camping the high ground, waiting for somebody to go for the rune as it spawns. No hesitation, they get the Hex. And they all back up, playing themselves defensively, being a little bit careful here. They have everything available. Roche will be spawning soon.
Once more again, that opening setup. The soulbind on 2, and that swap, as you say, setting up the second connection onto Chalice. 4 kills easily taken, and there we've just seen it. A pickup from Maybe.
He's feeling desperate.
It's the only way out. They need something huge. It's there. It could be what gets this game back in the hands of PSG.LGD, a rapier.
They decided against nullifiers, both of them. They went all in. Slark buys a full abyssal as well. They're ready to just try to take the fights. They have to find Tims.
They've got no buybacks available on PSG.LGD. One bad fight could spell the end for them in this game, in this series, and in this tournament.
TNC seem to know where LGD is at the moment. They're pinging that mid lane. They saw those creeps go down. Ame picks up a haste rune. They're pinging it out instantly. TNC being very careful of their positioning.
No area or space for mistakes to be made for LGD right now.
Yep, we see the courier goes over for TNC. They go check out that Roche. They see that the Roche is up, guaranteed now.
We'll see how sort of confident LGD feel in terms of trying to take a fight around the pit. As I say, without buybacks, but on the other hand, TNC, they've got 4 ready, and even AU, he'll have his back up in a minute.
Yep. DD rune gets popped. This is where LGD, the PSG.LGD, they're trying to get some type of fight here. They have to try to stop this Roche. Eyes on Tims.
They're going for the jump in FY, gets the kickoff.
Ooh. Boots him away.
Gabby does get booted pretty far. But the snowball to dodge the Xbox, tries to force up the high ground, but he gets forced back down. Maybe miscommunication there for Drew, but Chalice, he's able to find the setup, gets the RP.
Second
the
one.
setup with the GA, it came out before the second one was there. So they cannot follow with the physical damage, and now Chalice gets a Abyssal Blade down. Then without the Magus, Tims has the control onto FY. They should set up a second. FY will still get the snowball out. Tims posts the refresh. He's got a second black hole ready for the bigger kills. It doesn't matter, baby, though. They've already killed two. There
black
it is,
hole.
the second black hole to close things up. Tims, this was his game, and he has done it. He really has. There's 3 dead. The Rapier hits the deck. 3 heroes without buyback. 26k gold lead.
Just go down that mid.
It's time for them to take their victory. TNC, they've got it. GG is
GG.
gold. As TNC take game 2, 2-0, beating LGD.
That explosive comebacks I've seen in quite a while.
Tims.
Oh my God, Tims. LGD have to be pretty upset with themselves there, in particular Xnova, unable to get that swap there in that position.